What's up YouTube, we post here, and today it's Victor bringing you another standard Pokemon battle. It's going to be OU, and this will be a rain team. I know, rain team, boring, but that's why this is a standard battle. And however, this rain team is sort of different as it's hyper offensive. And mostly it's me testing out a Pokemon that George recommended to me, as well as a Pokemon I saw used against me. The Pokemon, and this is mainly testing out the starmie, which is life orb starmie, and I apologize for this big resume button there, but I was a bit lazy today I didn't feel like making a team preview button or pictures, so we're just going to use this. And this starmie is different as it's life orb starmie, but it's analytic, not natural cure ability. And reason that's analytic because, well, first of all, you might think, what's the point of putting analytic on starmie since it's so fast? However, what I didn't realize before was that analytic also works on Pokemon that works, the effect works if you attack on your opponent's switch, which means that if you bring in starmie on a wall or whatever and you force them to switch out, the move will do additional 30% damage, and coupled with Life Orb, that's 1.6. Factor in Rain, that's another plus stage, and then factor in Stab with a Hydro Pump. You have a +3 Hydro Pump right there, no setup required whatsoever. It's going to hurt anything that comes in. And then we're also testing out this Azumarill Choice Banded. Choice Banded Azumarill definitely does not get enough respect. It has base 50 attack is 212 maxed out animate, and if you double that, that's 400 over 400, which rivals that of Haxorus. And if you put that with the Rain, Stab, and Choice Band, we got another +3 right there. So this is a hyper offensive team. However, my own playing style definitely hindered the efficiency of what could possibly be a fairly good team. Let's get on with the battle. So I'm going to lead off with this Politoed set up the Rain, even though his is also a Rain team. I decide just, what the heck, I'm Choice Specs, I'm pretty sure I can dent him with a Hydro Pump, but he leads off with his Kieran Black, goes for a Fusion Bolt, I go into Ferrothorn just to take whatever, set up a Leech Seed, you know what Ferrothorn usually does, and unfortunately, he decides to start setting up really early in the game. People never set up early in the game. Sure, he's going to force me to sack my Politoed, but I'm just going to revenge kill him with a Keldeo, Choice Scarfed, Hidden Power Ice. Nothing, pretty standard right here. Just don't set up early in the game. My Politoed is essentially useless, true, but he gets this 5-6 lead, but I can tie it pretty easily. So now we just rinse and repeat with the Kieran Black coming in, Fusion Bolt. And I'm going to go on a Leech Seed. He predicts at this time, sets up the rocks with his Ferrothorn. This Power Whip missing is definitely extremely lucky for me. It's actually pretty crucial to the match because this Keldeo is definitely pivotal to the many switches I make. And here, going to Tentacruel, predicting either Toxic Spikes or Toxic, maybe a Scald, and Tentacruel can basically take everything. And I have Knockoff instead of Rapid Spin on this Tentacruel, mostly because I feel like this team doesn't really hate hazards that much, and Knockoff is just a lot more effective. As you can see against this Ferrothorn, if I ever get a chance to knock off his lefties, it's going to help, as well as against the Tentacruel, I knocked off its Black Sludge. Here, I know the Tentacles could come back in, but I want to play it safe, don't want to overpredict. I just go for the Secret Store, because if you can get rid of a Ferrothorn, you want to do that. And this is just one of the probably the less aggressive move. Many of the less aggressive moves I'm going to make. Going back in Tentacruel, I protect once to see if he goes for the Fusion Bolt or Focus Blast. Protect again to see if he's choiced. He's obviously is, since he goes for Focus Blast again. So I'm just going to stay and go for a Scald because there's no harm there, and if I can get a potential burn, that'll be great. Knocking off leftovers definitely helps a ton against Blissey because he's getting about 50 HP back per turn. And he T-Waves me, which honestly doesn't bother me that much. If I'm going to have status on Tentacruel, it's definitely going to be Paralysis. Even though the speed helps, but Tentacruel is a wall, it doesn't mind it that much. Go for a Protect, try to racking up some toxic damage on this Bliss, but Natural Cure, it doesn't really matter. I go for Protect again just to see what he does. Protect, again, is really great move. Helps with the Ferrothorn on the Leech Seed recovery, and also with the Rain Dish and Black Sledge for Tentacruel. Not sure if I have lefties or Black Sledge. I do have Black Sledge. Just looking at the chat there. So here I go into my Keldeo, probably predicting Focus Blast or something from the Kyurem Black, but he gives the Politoed. I don't want to stay and take a potential Scald. He actually has Surf. Here he goes for the Parasong, and not really sure what that's about, because I can always switch out. He doesn't look like he can trap me that easily, so kind of confused, but it doesn't really do anything. It's essentially a waste of 2 turns as to Protect, and I get paralyzed. He's gonna withdraw, go into his Kyurem again. Really, this Kyurem doesn't pose that big of a threat to me, especially now that it's burned. It's dead weight on his team now, so you can essentially say it's a 5. I have a 5-4 lead on this on his team. I'm gonna bring in the Starmie because I don't fear this thing anymore, and now I know I can nail anything with essentially a extremely powerful Hydro Pump. But I miss, of course. Hydro Pump, 80% accuracy. What you're gonna do? Starmie actually doesn't end up doing all that much, but we'll see what it can do. Is get a feel of its power as well as Azumarill. Really, I'm just trying to at this point in time, I'm just trying to find an opportunity to bring in either Starmie or Azumarill, get a super hard hit on his team, essentially do some damage. However, and if I was to try to speed this process up a bit, I would probably want to play a bit more aggressively, but because of my style, I like to sit back. I like to wait with my walls and see when it's absolutely safe. I don't like playing risky. Of course, that's something you must do sometimes. I have Toxic on my Tentacruel instead of Toxic Spikes because I want to nail those flying types for some reason. And look at this, how much this Waterfall does. 70% to this Politoed. It resisted that Politoed. Looks pretty defensive to me. Probably max Spec D max defense. Seeing as 70%, but most Politoads are bulky, and seeing as Parasong, it's definitely a bulky Politoed. So you could definitely see how this how crucial or how dangerous Azumarill can be to an opponent, and definitely you should use Azumarill a lot more. However, so now I bring in my Keldeo, go for the Surf, actually predicting the Ferrothorn this time, but because for switching out, but I actually should have, instead of going for the Surf, I probably should have went for the Starmie switch in, as I have Thunderbolt, and definitely would have nailed something a lot harder than a Stab Surf. Surf just seemed like the middle ground, just in case the Ferrothorn decided to go for a Power Whip. So here, Scald is going to be just me stalling out, waiting for some turns, see what he's going to do. Scald hitting this time definitely would have been great, but I guess it kind of makes up for a crit I got earlier. Not sure when I got the crit, or sorry, the crit's going to come later in the game. Probably makes up for it, but he's not going to get a lot of health back with the Leech Seed. He's going to stay around the same place as before, and he actually makes pretty good play. Predicts my Azumarill coming in. I thought he was going to Protect. He doesn't. Good play. He takes out my Azumarill, but this allows me to go in Starmie, nail something with a Hydro Pump, and bam, Blissey gone. Of course, it's a crit. We'll do some damage calcs after this, but I'm pretty sure it still would have made a pretty big dent into his team. Now, we'll make a damage calc after the battle, but here he's going to bring in the Kyurem Black, go for a Fusion Bolt. Pretty standard stuff. We saw this turn 1 of the game. Still not going to do anything. Essentially, Kyurem Black did nothing this whole game because it was walled by Ferrothorn. Pretty sure you can put Fire Blast on it, so if I would run Kyurem Black, I would run a mixed one with Life Orb and Fire Blast, but that's just me. No wonder Kyurem Black got dropped down to OU, and he's not even that high in the ranking. He's probably like 40th or something. But here it's just still me trying to stall out this Ferrothorn, just trying to get the Scalds and finally get it down with a crit from the Scald. It doesn't matter that much, although it kind of looks bad because it definitely puts him at a bad position. But I was going to win that stall war anyways, and that crit just sped up the process, shortening down a pretty long match for the rest of you guys who are watching. Here, this Focus Blast, again, it doesn't matter that much. He's only got 2 Pokemon left, so it's just a question of when can I bring in the Starmie, clean up the mess. However, or Keldeo. I think this is a pretty good time to bring it in. But I underestimate how much damage a Scald would do. And here I just decide, go for a Thunderbolt. Doesn't matter, I'm going to take out one of the 2 Pokemon anyways. I only have 1 good hit left in me. But it's better than nothing. And I end up nailing the Kyurem Black. Kyurem Black finally is gone. It was more of a nuisance than a threat in this battle anyway. But nailing it was definitely helpful. Of course, you have to kill all 6 Pokemon to win the game. So here, Hydro Pump does 37%. It'll be a 3-hit KO. And that's essentially the game, really. He sees that there's absolutely no way he can win now, which is reinforced by the fact that I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna let my Keldeo die here and bring in Ferrothorn to get a Leech Seed on him, which seals the game because he can't hurt my Tentacruel, so I'll just keep scalding away. Leech Seed's gonna keep recovering my health, and there's no way he's gonna win. No way. Through this match, I actually decided to take off Stealth Rocks from my Ferrothorn, put on Power Whip instead, because I found that opposing Ferrothorns were actually walling me pretty well. So that's something I took from this match, definitely. But in the end, it was a really close game. It ends up being possibly 2-1 or 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-1. And definitely good game. Probably could have been a bit shorter had I played a bit more aggressively, and it also helped me learn a lot. Let's go on to the damage calc, shall we? So here you guys can see how much Hydro Pump with basically, I have the +2 in here due to Rain and Stab coupled with the Life Orb. Actually, we should probably put in the Analytic as well. But as you can see, it's going to do between 45 to 54% damage to standard Blissey, which is max HP, max defense, no spec D investment. And really, even if I didn't get the crit, we probably would have done 50% damage. He had 78% HP. It would have easily been a 2-hit KO. And I could have gone for the... Why don't I have Thunder on my thing? I can easily have just KO'd with a Thunderbolt next turn. So you can see Thunderbolt will do probably 25% damage, coupled with 50%. Even if they're both the lowest damage variations, 45 plus 24 is like, actually it's 46 plus 24, about 70 as well, exactly. So essentially didn't matter at all. He probably could have tried to salvage the Blissey. 25 Blissey with quarter health definitely could pull off a soft boil, but in the end it did not affect the match too much. Anyways, thank you for watching, everybody. So it was Victor here. Hope you enjoyed. Help us reach our goal of 100 subscribers by clicking that subscribe button, and support us by rating this video and leaving a comment. So thank you and goodbye. See you next time.